This is actually an old concept. We've been talking about doing this for a while, which is bouncing around to different parts of the world, getting affiliate owners together, and just kind of talking best practices, what's worked, what hasn't, things we picked up along the way, things that have come and gone. What are your guys' thoughts on just the way gyms are maybe programming?
I'll tell you what, when we go to do drop-ins, that's how Matt and I pick the gym we're going to drop into.
Just by looking at
the program that they did last week, and that gives you a really good idea as to how well they understand the intent of a GPP program.
Sure.
With CrossFit.
And how much coaching is actually happening.
That's the first thing I'll look at when I go to drop in at a gym is their programming. But on another note, like, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second on the side of the affiliate, because you know, we never programmed in our gym for a competitor for the regular programming. We just never did. It was always for GPP.
Sure.
And you get a lot of feedback from your members that want what's Matt doing, you know, what's Camille doing, and they want to know what it is so that they can do it and get better. And I'm sure you felt the same way, Pat, with your members asking you what you do. And so there's a pressure to want to give them that product.
Sure.
And so I don't think anybody's necessarily at fault where they're trying to cater to that. I think they're really just trying to cater to the need of the person that's coming in front of them. Mm-hmm. The disconnect is really in assessing and figuring out if whatever it is that you're doing, whatever you've changed, whatever you've added, whatever you're putting on the whiteboard that day, is it working? Mm-hmm. I think that's the disconnect. Like, how are you tracking it? How are you assessing whether people are better, same, or worse, 6 months from now than they were when they came in? How are the injury rates in your gym? Mm-hmm. Are people, getting tweaked pretty often? Are they unmotivated? Are they still really jazzed to come in and do the workout? Like, more than they should do this program or they should do that program in their affiliate, I think it's the assessment piece that's missing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I do. I agree with that. I think it's the application, honestly.
Yeah.
Because like I look at, when I drop into, it's like I look at what the workout is going to be, and I'm less concerned about exactly what the workout is until I'm in there and watch the coach, like Matt said, either coaching but then also talking to people about scaling appropriately.
Yeah, but
right,
even
and
before
I think maybe that's where I was kind of going early, because that's what I see. I think I'm seeing a lot. Where it's just there's that athlete or that group of athletes in a class that it's like, oh my gosh, like, that trainer should be over there. Like, that needs to be addressed. Like, go work on that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And frankly, I mean, what Cherie's saying is when she sees the programming and it's multi-part, and there's a complicated movement in one or two of the parts, or even one of the parts, or none of the parts, how much coaching can actually be happening when the workouts themselves are going to take 45 minutes? How in the hell are we increasing that person's skills and drills? And let's say they only come in 3 days a week. They're not getting enough exposure to the program. And chances are, in my opinion, a person will stick with a program that's a multi-part program for a short duration of time before they become overrun with overtraining symptoms. Hey, I'm tired, I feel lethargic.
Don't want to do it.
I've got aches and pains, I'm no longer motivated.
Plateaued.
Right.
Whereas if you come to a facility where there is a single workout and there's a length of time where you develop skills and drills for that workout, you throw down, and then you spend the remainder of the time either building more skills and drills, refining skills and drills.
How about just warming up and cooling down appropriately?
Yeah.
Or maybe even doing some community fun work in that time frame. And those are the facilities where you see people begging to get in the doors the next day and never take a rest day. Right? Knocking down the door like, let me in, let me in, I want more.
I just saw you here 7 days. Get out, Matt. You've been here 7 days in a row.
But in reality, I think what people think is that, hey, I look at the majority of my athletes and they're weak. So we got to apply a strength program.
But then they don't stop and look and say,
how much of this is influenced by what they're seeing games athletes do? Because that's like, I think that's
But they don't see what games athletes are doing. They're assuming. And that's the part that it blows my mind, because I hear these questions all the time. But we're got to do a strength element before we do a workout is the new thing. And it didn't used to be. It used to be the other way around. It used to be where we were just doing all filthy 50s and hero workouts, and that's all we did.
Do double immerse.
It's just a new trend, right? And whenever you see an extreme in something, whether it's nutrition or programming or whatever, be wary.
Yep.
Is my approach. Be wary what that is. But regardless of that, people are assuming, because they come to me and they're like, well, but that's what I see. And I'll use Camille as an example, they always, since she lives around us and we see her train, they're always like, but she does this. And I'm like, you don't see the 4 hours she spends recovering, where she's doing, you don't see the lengthy warm up. You don't, I mean, her quantity of time, and what's happening is people are taking the workout and they're thinking that's done in an hour.
Right.
That it's such a huge disconnect there with the prep time, the recovery time, the time taken to the body, what's happened before all that to get ready for that.
Yeah.
That there's just a very big disconnect there.